Venom: The Last Dance is the conclusion to the three-part trilogy of movies, being Venom 1, Venom: Let There Be Carnage, and Venom: The Last Dance, aka Venom 3. It comes out officially on Friday. The review embargo lists today, so we can talk about it. We're going to talk about the post-credit scene, the mid-credit scene, how the movie ends, and how the literal title of the movie tells you how the movie ends, like I've said before. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture-based content that I try to deliver on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and also check us out on Instagram to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. Right, let's get into this video. So careful for spoilers. So firstly, we need to talk about the fact that Knull was in the movie, but he wasn't actually in the movie as much as what people actually thought, to be honest. So how does this movie actually end is what people really want to know. So at the end of the movie, Venom dies sacrificing himself in a battle with the xenophage. So when Tom Hardy keeps saying, yo, are you going to return as Venom? He can't because he dies. Oh, wait, if you actually watch the post-credit scene, he can. So you see, right, and you've probably seen big social media people saying there's a random post-credit scene with a cockroach that makes no sense. So essentially, my interpretation of it is the Venom symbiote has attached itself to said cockroach. And we do see Eddie Brock randomly in New York because he wants to get away, because he's in hiding, because essentially he no longer has the protection of the Venom symbiote. So obviously, Knull is really pissed off by this because the perfect host has essentially died. And there's some sequence that says, with Knull saying, "Planet will be mine. The King in Black is awake. I will kill your world. Everyone will burn and you will watch." That's essentially what Knull is saying. So Knull essentially is coming to Earth since the King in Black is awake. We see the on Clintar on his throne, and the King in Black is essentially awake. So what is actually going on? So essentially, the Venom symbiote has attached to the cockroach, and somehow the Venom symbiote on the cockroach will attach back to Eddie Brock, most likely in Spider-Man 4. Pretty much, this movie is still setting up Knull, coming to the MCU, coming to 616, coming to Spider-Man 4. And yes, Eddie Brock no longer has the Venom symbiote because the movie leaves you thinking, oh, Venom's died. But no, that Venom has literally attached to the cockroach. But did you spot that? Probably not, because I've seen some people that went to the premiere saying, yo, one of the post-credit scenes makes absolutely no sense. It makes complete sense. Knull is the King in Black. Knull is coming. Knull will watch everything burn. And seeing as Spider-Man, you know, has got this connection to Venom, in a roundabout way, what you're going to tell me that Knull is coming for Hela, that Knull is coming for Gore the God Butcher? No, Knull has got to be coming for Spider-Man, essentially, and Venom. But at this time, he obviously presumes that Venom's dead. So I assume it will probably play out. Like, he finds out, presumably, that Eddie Brock reattaches with the Venom symbiote because the Venom symbiote is in the cockroach, and that is how Knull's going to appear. We already know via the hive mind that Knull can literally body through the multiverse if he decides to. So in the somewhat confusing post-credit scene, we see the guy with the long hair, running through some kind of battle scene. Then we see the cockroach. And I understand why people think this is confusing, but realistically, at the very time, they are still in the Sony Spider-Man universe, not the 616. But somehow this cockroach will go looking for Eddie. And when the cockroach finds Eddie Brock, it's the Venom symbiote, and they're reattached, and then essentially he could become Venom again. So when Tom Hardy keeps saying, I don't know if I'm going to play him again, I don't know, he's saying that because essentially Venom died in the movie, but Venom's symbiote is still alive. He has just attached this cockroach as far as I can make out from this. It's also worth saying that you should definitely go check out the Geeky Cast on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter, because he's one of the few people that actually know what the freaking hell he's talking about. So make sure to check him out. So that's essentially the mid-credit scene and the post-credit scene. No, the god of the symbiotes is essentially coming to the 616. Although he doesn't outright say it, he literally says, planets will be mine. The king in black is awake. I will kill your world. Everyone will burn and you will watch. What else is he on about? Is he on about he's coming for Doctor Doom? Is he coming for Galactus? No, he's because he obviously thinks the Venom symbiote is dead, but I assume when he finds out the Venom symbiote is reattached to Eddie Brock, and potentially in Spider-Man 4 in the 616, he will use the hive mind and traverse into the Spider-Man movies. So I still believe all this information going around, the rumors going around, but context is important. You need to understand context. So yeah, sure, Knull is still in Clintar, and sure, the mid-credit scene, the cockroach, is still in the Sony Spider-Verse. They're not in the 616, but we're in a multiversal saga. And then you have to go back to what the director of the movie said. This is only the beginning of the Knull storyline. Knull begins here. Knull is too good to be one and done. Is she being hyperbolic by saying that? I honestly don't think she is, because Spider-Man 4 is a Sony Columbia Pictures movie, but they work in collaboration with Sony Pictures and Columbia Pictures. So if she comes out and says, no, this is the start of the Knull storyline, and you know when they were asked, who would be Knull's perfect villain? And she literally says Toxin. Of course she couldn't say Venom, because that would ruin that Venom technically dies in the movie, but doesn't actually die. He just deattaches from Eddie Brock as the host, realistically, if you want to look that way. There was literally a clip going around where Tom Hardy's like, there's 3 things we can't say, and that is one of them. I will literally put the clip in right now.
If not Venom, who is a character that you think moving forward could potentially be an adversary for Knull?
Wow. I think...
You can't go there.
I could,
You can't go there.
I can't.
You're not allowed to go there. You're not allowed.
Not allowed.
There's 3 things that we can't talk about, and that's one of them.
Who could be an adversary for Knull? Am I not allowed to say who I think it should be? I'll say who I think it should be.
For you lads and ladettes, it's with Chris Kellen from comic.com. Literally, this is setting up Spider-Man 4. It's in your face, but it's not actually in your face. And I think the reason Marvel have done this, and Sony, to be more precise, have done this, is because if they get cold feet again and decide they don't want to actually do this, they have a buyout, they have a get out of jail clause where they don't actually have to explain anything more because it's just a tease. But no, this is a really good tease, actually. Really good. And there is criticism of how Knull looks. We wanted the red eyes! Give us red eyes! Of course, Andy Serkis, I believe it is Andy Serkis. It sounds like him. Slayed it with his lines, and Sony did essentially show you most of Knull in the TV spots and trailers. So if people come out and say, oh, Sony don't want you spoiling stuff, Sony literally ruined the reveal of Knull. They shouldn't have even shown Knull. There was no reason to show it. They literally come out and do a full interview talking about Knull. Sony wants you to know Knull is coming. And do you really think Knull is going to be in Kraven the Hunter or any of the other Spider-Man movies? Potentially Beyond the Spider-Verse. Potentially that movie, when that comes out, if it ever comes out. So I don't think they're teasing Knull for the Kraven Hunter movie, which is still coming out this year, allegedly, or the Sinister Six movie that Sony have wanted to make for years. Literally teasing up Spider-Man 4. It's clearly in your face. But the way they've done it is very sneakily. Yeah, I get it. It's a cockroach. Obviously, there's been no screeners in the UK yet. And I'm always transparent about where information comes from. I'm just breaking down what happens in the mid-credit scene, the post-credit scene, and how the movie ends. Essentially, Venom sacrifices himself, and somehow Eddie Brock loses his capacity to be the host, and then the Venom symbiote attaches to a cockroach, which is kind of funny. And Knull's basically like, yeah, I'm coming for you lads. It's just who he's coming for. It is, I guess you could say it's questionable who he's coming for, but it's got to be for Spider-Man and Venom. When Venom reattaches to Eddie Brock in Spider-Man 4, maybe Tom Hardy just does the voice for Venom and Venom attaches to someone different. We don't know. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.